What's up, YouTube? Welcome to the Aviator channel. I haven't been in the air much. It's been about a week since I've flown, and so was gonna fly today, but it's snowing outside. No bueno. So I thought I'd do another episode of Cool Guns, and I have a cool one today. First thing we'll do, make sure the gun's unloaded. And if you haven't had any gun training, you really ought to. Can't hurt you. This gun has a story. It is a 44 Magnum Ruger Super Blackhawk, and it's an old one. It was old when I got it, and that's been 24 years ago. And so way back when I was in college, I did some guiding, mostly for bear, and felt like I needed a gun. Didn't have much money. Didn't have any money. And picked this gun up off another guide and had it redone about, I'd say 10 years ago. And going to walk you through everything I had done to this cool gun. Let me tell you about what it was like before I started to work on it. It was actually a carbon gun, a blued gun. And the barrel was rusted. All of the finish was rusted off. Was rusted almost the length of the barrel, and the first kind of inch and a half of the barrel didn't have any rifling in it. So it had been shot a lot or abused or something. The cylinder, somebody had, I don't know if they used it for a hammer or what, but it was in a pretty pathetic state of disrepair. And so I only used it for 1 year, and mostly because I couldn't hit anything with it. It just, you couldn't put bullets on paper with it. But, you know, for 3 feet away, it was perfectly adequate. So fast forward 15 years, and you'll see a theme in my cool guns. When I find a gun that I'm going to keep for the rest of my life, I typically have a lot of work done to it, and you know, they stay in my safe forever, and this is one of those guns. And I typically have the same people do the work to them. In my case, I know a guy down in Flagstaff, Arizona named Gary Reeder, and he's done a ton of work for me and is just a spectacular, I wouldn't even call him a gunsmith. He's more of an artisan. But he's done a lot of different guns for me, and I'll show you a lot of them on video. But this gun, like I said, it started life as a blued gun. You can see that it's pretty engraved at this point. And so I had two people work on this gun. The first was Gary Reeder, who did an action job on it, put his gunfighter grip on it, and basically fixed all the cosmetics, as well as he put this barrel on it. As I said, the old barrel was virtually rusted off, and you know, the housing here was dented, and the plunger didn't even actually move down the full length of the guide rod there, and so it was in a pretty bad state of repair. And so I sent it off to Gary, and he did his full action job on it, put the gunfighter grip on it, put a new barrel on it, and then put these ghost ring sights on it. You can see those there. Okay. And I don't know if you've ever held a gun after Gary's worked on it, but when you cock that action, there is no play whatsoever in that cylinder. Now, some of that has to do with the work that Gary does to the internals of the gun, but it also has to do with the oversized base pin that I had installed. Now, this is a copy of one that Elmer Keith put on one of his guns. I think it was a number 7. I could be wrong about that. And so if you guys know, then make a comment. But the trigger on this gun breaks like glass, you know. So the first thing I did was send it off to Gary, had him do his you know, cosmetic repair, you know, physical repair, putting the new barrel on, the new housing here, fitting the base pin, and then I sent this gun off to a gentleman named Jeff Flannery. And I'll put links to these guys in the comments. But Jeff did a spectacular job engraving this gun. You can just see that he just did a spectacular job. Put my name in the side. Roll engraved the entire cylinder, so I can open that up and kind of show you the engraving here. Just did a spectacular job, and then did some engraving down the back strap. Put 44 Magnum in cursive on it. And then I actually fitted the grips to it, the original grips that came with the gun. So pretty kind of special gun. This gun is a target gun at this point. I mean, I can shoot this one really well, and I'm not a good pistol shot. So another cool gun from some very cool craftsmen. Now, I plug these craftsmen all the time. You know, Gary and Jeff, and have had Hamilton Bowen do some work for me. Oglesby, I had do some work for me. But, you know, by and large, you know, if you send it, and I don't have a dog in this race, you know, they don't, you know, pay me or support me. They probably don't even know I'm doing a video here. But those guys, you can send your gun off to them, and for a few $100s, they can turn it into, you know, literally a work of art. And so this was more than a few $100s, and it took more than a couple of years to get it all the way done. But after I had it engraved, it was chromed. So this thing should withstand nuclear winter. And it's a great carry gun. Just a fantastic carry gun. And I wish I had had this gun when I was guiding, instead of the prior version that you couldn't shoot. So another spectacular gun from Reader Custom Guns and Jeff Flannery, and I'm happy to own it. So there you go, another cool gun. If you like this sort of thing, like, subscribe, comment, and until next time.